Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examinations. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And in this session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the Hindu newspaper, which will be useful for you so that you can identify the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions for the prelims, as well as while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your mains answers, your answers would also be precise and concise, and therefore you can score higher marks in the mains examination. So this session at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis will help you to score higher marks in the mains 2020, as well as it will help you to crack prelims and mains of 2021. So do follow the entire session of AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And this is in regards to the Hindu DNA of today's, that is 17th of December 2020. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we would have a look at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day is, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. So there is no word called as we are failure. We certainly will learn when we do not actually win. So definitely we should be positive, and then we will certainly reach to the heights or your dreams. And the daily news analysis from the Hindu newspaper. Now the topic what we would be discussing is in regards to the talks which have been taken up since almost November. The farmers agitating against the farm or agricultural reforms taken up by the union government. So there were talks which were being held between the government and the farmers, but the Supreme Court has said that the talks between the union government and the farmer leaders on three controversial agricultural laws have no ground and were bound to fail. Look at it, the Supreme Court is making a clear statement saying that the talks which have been in the process between the government and the farmer leaders certainly is not having any breakthrough, and they feel that is the Supreme Court feel that there would be bound to fail, that is the talks were bound to fail. That is why the Supreme Court has proposed for setting up of a committee of farmer leaders, so that this committee of farmer leaders, which will be set up taking into consideration of the farmer leaders across the country, including the Bharatiya Kisan Union, and this Bharatiya Kisan Union is at the forefront of the protest against three controversial agricultural laws. And the committee which the proposal made by the Supreme Court, that is the Chief Justice of India Sharath A. Bobde, has said that the farmer leaders and the government representatives would be formed of the part of the committee, and they would resolve the issue. And now, as of now, the talks between the farmer leaders and the union government is certainly not having any breakthrough, and it is bound to fail. And thereby, while going ahead with the discussion of the talks between farmers and the union government, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has made a statement to the Supreme Court saying that the farmers have turned their back when the government would wish to talk and then resolve the issue. What the farmers feel that the three laws or the controversial laws, that is the agricultural laws, are controversial, which would not really fetch any benefit to the farmers. And the Chief Justice, in regards to or responding to the statement made by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, has said that or has responded that the farmers perceive that the legislations, that is the three agricultural bills, are against them. And the Chief Justice also makes a statement that the negotiations which are being made by the government of India have not worked out and they are bound to fail. As they have not worked out and they are bound to fail, the Supreme Court has proposed to set up a committee of farmers across the country, and then even representatives from the government, to resolve the deadlock between the farmers and the government of India or the central government. And the Supreme Court has come up or proposed the statement saying that there would be a setting of a committee because the Supreme Court was hearing three separate petitions which were filed in the Supreme Court by the lawyers and the law students, because the long blockade which is being caused by the farmers' agitation is definitely restricting the movement, and it is restricting the fundamental right of free movement for the public. So as it is a blockade, and this blockade is long, and this protest has been restricting the fundamental right to free movement for the public, so thereby the petitions have been filed by the lawyers and the law students in the Supreme Court, and thereby the Supreme Court has heard in regards to the petitions filed by the lawyers and the law students, and the bench is scheduled for the case for the urgent hearing on December 17, that is today. And then definitely there would be an resolve or solution which would be made so that the farmers would definitely have a consensus with the government and resolve the issue. So this is the Supreme Court being made the proposed statement to set up a committee of farmer leaders. And there is another news which talks about the spectrum auction. So this is the keyword, spectrum auction, and the Union Cabinet has approved the auction for the spectrum, and this spectrum auction, which is of 2251.25 megahertz of spectrum, which the auction has been approved by the Union government with a price or with a reserve price of 3.92 lakh crore. So certainly the cabinet is in the mood of approving the auction for 2251.25 megahertz with a reserve price of 3.92 lakh crore. And the cabinet says that this approval of the auction of the spectrum would help to boost the quality of 4G telecom services in India. So certainly the quality of 4G telecom services will be boosted by the auction of the spectrum, which the statement made by the Union Cabinet. And the Communication Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said that the spectrum in the frequency band, so you have the spectrum and you have the bands. So certainly the spectrum auction is been made, and there are different or various frequency bands in the or along the spectrum itself, and you have 700 megahertz, 800, 900, 1800, 2000 megahertz, and then 2300 and 2500 megahertz. And this will be offered to the players, private players, who can be part of the auction of the spectrum, and for 20 years this frequency bands would be offered to the players who would wish to have an or to be part of the auction of the spectrum. And this will certainly, by going ahead with the auction, this will certainly boost the network. So this is the keyword, that the network would be boosted, as said by the Union Cabinet, that the boost of the quality of the 4G telecom services, so that in the future they can roll out the 5G spectrum also. And by going ahead or the auction, the players who would be winning the auction, they would be having the right to use the spectrum, and the incumbent, that is the already existing telecom service providers, can go ahead with augmenting or increasing their network capacity. So how this network boost will help, or how the network boost will take up, is by the telecom service providers, whoever goes ahead with winning the auction, they would have the right to use the spectrum, and the already existing one can increase the network capacity, and the new players will be able to start the new telecom services to go ahead with using the spectrum for the network capacity. And the Ravi Shankar Prasad minister has also said that the conditions for the auction now for 2020 would be same as which the rules and regulations were in the year 2016. And the ministry also has made it very clear that the cabinet which has gone ahead with approval of the auction of the spectrum will help to increase the spectrum holding, which is for already existing 4G, and that 4G provisioning will be taking up or will be used for the user base, and in turn it will be improving the quality of the telecom services. So certainly the telecom services will be improved, the network capacity will be increased, thereby the network would be boosted, and this will in turn help for provision of 4G to a larger part of the user base, and gradually or in the near future the 5G spectrum can also be rolled out for a better telecom network services. And the next news is that the scientists have found lead in milk samples. So we have seen that on December 4th there was an outbreak and an undiagnosed illness in Eluru village and its neighboring towns and villages, which is situated or which is located in the West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. So when there was an outbreak and undiagnosed illness, there were experts and doctors who have rushed to the site, that is Eluru town and its neighboring villages, and they have collected the samples of food, water, milk, blood, and other samples were collected. So when they have collected, the scientists in turn have gone ahead with research, and they have the scientists from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences have revealed that, or they have noticed that lead has been part of the milk samples, or lead was present in the milk samples, and the officials which have found the presence of lead in milk samples have made it very clear that this is the reason for the outbreak of the undiagnosed illness which has been experienced by the people in the Eluru town and neighboring villages on December 4th. And also the officials along with the AIIMS from the National Institute of Nutrition, that is NIN, who have also tested the samples which were collected, or the food items which were collected from the site or the Eluru town and its neighboring places. They have also tested the meat, chicken, fish, shrimp and vegetables, and in turn after the testing of the samples of the food items, they have found the presence of pesticides in vegetables, and these pesticides are harmful to human being, were found in tomatoes and brinjal, and thereby we have seen that because of this presence of lead in milk and the pesticides in tomatoes and brinjal, in turn the patients have suffered epileptic attack, seizures, convulsions, vomiting, fever, dizziness and other symptoms because of the pesticides and the lead which was present in the milk, which was tested by the samples which were collected by AIIMS and the National Institute of Nutrition. So epileptic is a central nervous system or neurological disorder, epileptic attack. So this can be the probable question for the prelims, because the kind of disorder or the outbreak of the undiagnosed illness which has really caused a concern for almost a week in Eluru town and its neighboring villages in West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh has been now revealed by the scientists of AIMS and the NIN, that is National Institute of Nutrition. And now what is important is that the patients have suffered with various illness, and that is the question which could be the probability. And this was revealed by the experts or the scientists from both the NIN and the AIMS during the virtual review meeting which has taken place with the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagannath Reddy. And the another news is about the launching of the communication satellite. So ISRO is now, or today it will launch the communication satellite, and the satellite is called as CMS-01, and it would be on board. The one which would launch the satellite is PSLV C50. The launcher is PSLV C50 and the satellite is the communication satellite called as CMS-01, and it will be launched from the launch pad of Satish Dhawan Space Center, that is Sriharikota range, on December 17, 2020. So this is part of the science and technology for the prelims perspective of UPSC. And we have seen on November 7, 2020, ISRO has also placed or launched into the orbit, that is India's Earth Observatory satellite called as EOS-01, along with the other 9 customer satellites. That is, customer satellites are the satellites which are of other countries. India has launched even the other 9 customer satellites along with the Earth Observatory satellite, that is India's EOS-01. So the keywords what we need to focus here is the communication satellite which will be launched today, and on November 7th India has launched the Earth Observation Satellite. So these are the 2 keywords which you need to focus for the science and technology or the space satellites which have been launched. And CMS-01 will be launched today, and then EOS was launched on November 7th, and this will focus on the frequency spectrum. That is, the launching of the communication satellite by PSLV will have, or which will envisage providing services in extending C-band of the frequency spectrum. So in the C-band, the frequency spectrum will be envisaged, and it will also go ahead with covering the entire coverage of the C-band of the frequency spectrum would be covered along the Indian mainland and the Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands. So the coverage of the CMS-01 is important because this could be asked in the prelims, that which among the following areas are covered by the communication satellite CMS-01 in regards to the frequency spectrum. So it is Indian mainland, Andaman Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands will also be covered by the CMS communication satellite, providing services in extending C-band of the frequency spectrum. And this satellite is expected to have a life of more than 7 years. And the communication satellite CMS-01 is the 42nd communication satellite of India, and the PSLV, which is of the 52nd mission, will be configured by a mode called as XL mode, and this mode will have the 6 strap-on motors. So this 42nd communication satellite of the 52nd PSLV mission will be configured as XL mode with 6 strap-on motors, and the satellite is expected to place into the orbit once the PSLV takes off or lift off after the 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, the CMS-01, the communication satellite, would be placed into the orbit. So these are the information which will be useful for prelims and mains for the science and technology or the communication satellite space research, or based on the ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, launching the satellites. And The another news which talks about is the farmers protest. Yes, we know the farmers protest. We have discussed that the Supreme Court has said that the negotiations taken up by the center with the farmer leaders were not really having any breakthrough, and it was almost bound to fail. That is in regards to the internal matters between the farmers and the government of India. But we would look at the same news of the farmers protest, but which is not been discussed by the Supreme Court or the government of India or the farmers or the opposition parties. But here this is been discussed, saying by the visiting British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab, saying that the farmers protest is part of the UK politics because of the concept of diaspora. That means there are many Indians who are in UK, who are working there, providing services to the UK government and also being paid by the UK government. So thereby the visiting British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab says that the agricultural reforms which have been taken up in India are certainly India's internal matter, but the protests which are being taken up against the three agricultural reforms or the controversial agricultural laws, he says the protests which are being taken up in India are part of the British politics, both in India, and there are also the protests which are being taken up even in UK. So the protests which are being taken up in UK by the diaspora against the agricultural reforms, he says that it is part of the British politics too. So look at it, we need to understand that the farmers protest is certainly an internal matter, but at the same time the British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab says that the protest which has been taken up or which is being conducted in UK in regards to the farmers protest or in regards to the agricultural reforms is also the British politics, is part of the British politics. And the Foreign Secretary of UK Dominic Raab has also visited the Prime Minister Modi, and he says that UK respects India's vibrant heritage of peaceful protest and vigorous debate, and UK is closely watching with a high interest in regards to the farmers protest against the three controversial agricultural laws. That means UK is certainly respecting the heritage or India's heritage of peaceful protest and vigorous debate, but closely watching the farmers protest, as the protests are also the part of British politics, which the statement made by the visiting British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. And no doubt we have seen in the past 2 weeks 36 British members of parliament, that is British MPs, mostly from the opposition, that is from the Labour Party, have written a letter to the Foreign Secretary of UK, and they have raised the 36 MPs, British MPs, are asking the Foreign Secretary of UK to raise the agricultural laws, which they term the agricultural laws which have been passed by the government of India. They are calling it as a death warrant for farmers. So not only the Labour Party, even the leaders of the Liberal Democratic Party of UK have also criticized the way the government or the central government has handled the farmers protest by Indian militarized police. So there are very strong words which are used by the Liberal Democratic Party and the Labour Party of UK, and they say that the Liberal Democratic Party says that there is a need to respect the human rights, that is the farmers protesting against the agricultural laws or agricultural reforms which have been taken up by the central government or the government of India. But we have also seen that not only from the UK or the UK member of parliaments or the political parties there is concern against the agricultural laws of India, but even we have seen the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other foreign politicians have also raised concerns against India's agricultural reforms and the farmers' protest. But the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson have made it very clear that the remarks made by various politicians or the Prime Minister of Canada is or all ill-informed and unwarranted, because they are all ill-informed and unwarranted, because the matter in regards to the farmers protest or the agricultural reforms or internal issue for India. As it is an internal issue for India, the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson makes it all the remarks made by the various foreign politicians and the Canadian Prime Ministers are ill-informed and unwarranted. Now we will get into the another news, which is in regards to the Human Development Index. This is the news which we need to analyze, because India goes down 2 ranks in regards to the HDI, that is Human Development Index, which will be useful for the preliminary examination as well as mains examination, because this time there was a new assessment which was added to the Human Development Index by the United Nations Development Program, and this new metric which has been introduced is by assessing the planetary pressures, and by considering this new metric of the planetary measure, the first time United Nations Development Program has gone ahead with taking into acceptance of the new metric, that is planetary measure. Before we look into what planetary measure or what are the areas which the new metric actually possess, we will first look at what the India has in regards to the Human Development Index. So India has dropped 2 ranks in the United Nations Human Development Index this year, and now it stands at 131 out of 181 countries. So certainly the HDI of India has dropped to 2 ranks, and now it is ranking at 131 out of the entire 189 countries, which has been by the United Nations Human Development Index. And as we looked at for the first time, United Nations Development Program has introduced a new metric to reflect the impact caused by the every country's or each country's per capita carbon emissions and its material footprint. So certainly this is the new metric which looks into the impact caused by the carbon emissions and the various material footprints, and this which will measure the amount of fossil fuels, metals and other resources which are all used for the making of goods and services which it is consumed by the particular country. Therefore, the new metric is pertaining to countries' per capita carbon emissions. So this is a key phrase, which is the new metric which will impact the country's per capita carbon emissions, wherein the materials used, that is which looks into the amount of fossil fuels, metals and other resources used for manufacturing or producing the goods and services which its citizens consume it. So this is a new metric which is taken up for the first time by the United Nations Development Program, and that is now, if the index were adjusted as per the planetary pressure, that is in regards to the country's per capita carbon emissions and its material footprint, then India will move up 8 places in the rank. So rather than 131, it will come up to 8 places. 8 places in the entire 189 countries. And now we will look at how this will impact the planetary pressure. Norway. Now if the new pressure, planetary pressure adjusted HDI, the new metric is called as planetary pressures adjusted HDPI or PHDI. So this is the new metric. This could be probable question for the prelims. That is why the new metric, the PHDI, is the keyword for both prelims as well as mains examination. And while considering or using the new metric PHDI, Norway, which was topping the HDI, now will fall 15 places. And now while the United Nations considers the new metric PHDI, then Norway will fall 15 places and Ireland will top the PHDI index or planetary pressure adjusted human development index, and in turn 50 countries would drop entirely out of the very high human development group category once the new metric is taken into consideration. And Australia will fall 72 places, United States and Canada will fall 45 and 40 places respectively, and this will take place because there was a disproportionate impact on natural resources by all these countries. It could be Australia, United States, Canada, Norway or Gulf countries, and also China. And then Gulf countries will also fall steeply in the planetary pressure adjusted human development index, and China will drop 16 places from its current position or current ranking of 85. So the keyword here is the new metric, that is PHDI, which is crucial for prelims as well as mains examinations, because the new metric which is introduced for the first time by the United Nations Development Program will reflect the impact caused by each country's per capita carbon emissions and its materials footprint, that is in regards to the fossil fuels, metals and other resources which are used to make the goods and services which its citizens consumes, and these are called as planetary pressures. So this is very important information for the prelims and mains UPSC perspective. And now we will recapitulate the DNA, that is the Supreme Court has asked the government to set up the committee along with the farmers and the representatives of government to resolve the issue in regards to the agricultural reforms or the farmers protest. And this was in regards to the spectrum auction, wherein it will boost the frequency or the spectrum, the national entire the 4G spectrum also, 4G introduction also will take place smoothly, and gradually the 5G can also get into the process. And this was in regards to the high level of lead and pesticides being formed in the samples which were tested in Eluru village and its adjoining areas of West Godavari in Andhra Pradesh, which was an undiagnosed illness which has occurred on December 4th. And this is in regards to the science and technology, the new communication satellite CMS-01, and then Earth Observatory satellite has also been launched in the month of November. So this is for the current affairs. And talking in regards to the diaspora, the UK's foreign secretary has said that farmers' protests in UK are definitely part of the UK politics. Farmers' protests are definitely this, and the last one is in regards to the human development index which we have looked at, that is the HDI, which focuses on the PHDI is the new metric which is used by United Nations Development Program. So all these are crucial information which are certainly being helpful for you because we are focused from macro and micro level, that is from the UPSC mains and prelims perspective. So I hope this was an informative session, a knowledgeable session. So I would say a thank you and a good luck to everyone. Do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule and take care of your physical health and mental health, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English YouTube channel, and also have access to the website and sign in to the telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System. And then see you tomorrow for the daily news analysis. And I would say a very big thank you to all, and then do have the entire time used it judiciously. Thank you very much.